All right, Steve, you're all set.
Thank you. It is 6:09, May 28th, 2024. This is the Norwalk meeting of the Conservation Commission and Inland Wetland Agency. Could we have a roll call, please?
Steve Clackey.
Here.
Cheryl Brown.
Here.
Catherine Knight.
Here.
Ed Holowinko.
Here.
All right, you have 4, which is a quorum.
Great. Do we have anyone logged in for public comment?
No, you do not.
All right, then moving on to S24-632, 35 Weatherbell Drive.
So this application was withdrawn on Friday. So what that means, it is a corrective action application. They have to come up with an approvable application and implement corrective action. I'll be turning around and sending him a new order with new deadlines to submit a complete application. Last Thursday, I met on the site with his soil scientist who spoke to the applicant afterwards and encouraged him to withdraw because there was still a lot of work to do to get a complete application, and they were up against you needing to make a decision to meet those statutory deadlines. So anticipate at your next meeting having a show cause hearing for this respondent.
Great, thanks. All right, moving on then to, oh, wait a second. Do we have to vote on rejecting it? No, he withdrew it. Never mind, sorry.
He withdrew.
S24-633, 189 Perry Avenue.
Nothing new to report here. They are also approaching their statutory timeline and your decision deadline, whether the application is complete or not. You have until the June 25th meeting to make a decision. So if at your next meeting they haven't submitted anything for you to look at, I'd have to recommend denial for incompleteness. In emailing with the property owner and applicant, I know that they have retained a professional engineer and a surveyor and are trying to get a plan together. They just haven't yet.
Okay. Great. Well, this is easy. Moving on then to S24-637, 73 Witch Lane.
All right, this applicant is here. This is an application to construct a new single-family house. It's at the corner of Range Road and Witch Lane. You've been talking about this one for a while. It is your deadline to make a decision tonight without an extension from the applicant. I sent you a staff report that gave an update regarding the latest revisions to the site plan. And I'll just summarize those revisions real quickly. One is that the 35-foot buffer that you've previously discussed was expanded so that it was a 35-foot buffer from all on-site and off-site wetlands. The planting plan was updated to include some enhancement plantings in the expanded buffer that would be on the northern side property line. And then additionally, within what had previously been a proposed lawn area adjacent to the house, the applicant proposes to install an in-ground pool. And I can share my screen. The applicant is here. Applicant, if you have anything to add, now is probably the time.
Well, I'll wait till your
Okay.
screen shows.
Just get
Sorry if I missed a meeting, but I don't recall there being a pool.
No, we have the reason we have someone interested in the house, to buy the purchase of property, so they want to put a pool in. And so this kind of whole, this is, let me revise our plan and add the pool in.
Hold on a second.
I'm not seeing that. Oh, Commissioner Knight, your hand is raised.
Hi, yeah, I just have a question, Alexis, if you checked in with zoning, because unless they've changed the zoning laws, because that was laid down in the
Right.
state of Connecticut, you can't have them in the front or the side lawn.
So the pool does actually have a zoning permit. Zoning review was completed. For this one.
Yeah, she's thinking of,
we're thinking of the
10
pool at
range.
the adjacent house. But this, let me just pull up.
This one's in the rear of the house.
uh,
And I believe you're thinking of 10 Range Road, which we'll probably be discussing that shortly.
Sorry for the delay. I just realized that these updates aren't on the website, so there must be, I don't know what we did. Hold on a second. Okay, so here's the revised site plan. So again, this is the property that you've been reviewing for a new proposed house on the corner of Which, and this is Range, driveway coming off of Range. This is the added proposed pool. Your previously discussed 35-foot buffer would be in this location here. And then let me open.
And the pool is proposed to be, it's not in the 50-foot wetland review, it's outside of that.
Correct. So this is your 50-foot upland review area. And then this is your 100-foot watercourse upland review area.
And this has been approved from P&Z.
What's going around the pool?
We're just doing, as of right now, we're not doing any, it's all gonna be grass all the way around the pool.
Where's the fence for the requirements? So where's the fence going for the pool?
It will be, when we do the fence, it'll be on the boulder demarcation or closer to the, how do I want to explain it? Probably, how can I explain it? So it's not going to be the whole property, it's just going to be the pool area itself. Yeah, basically from the driveway back, surrounding the pool and coming back into the house. Correct, like that.
Hmm.
So you're going into the,
No, we won't
Set-
go into the 50-foot setback, no.
for the fence? So the fence
No.
will be before the 50-foot setback?
Yes, correct, yes.
So you're gonna have one corner of the pool. So you've got grass directly around the whole pool, and you've got one corner of the pool that's right up against the fence.
Correct. I mean, I'm most likely there's gonna be, I shouldn't say grass everywhere. In the front of the pool, where we have a deck above the pool area. Right there. And then below that will be a flagstone deck. Correct, right, yep.
And now remind me, we do have 100-foot, we do have a water course, so we do have an upland review area right there.
Right.
That is actually most of the site.
Right.
Golly, this is really throwing a wrench into things from my viewpoint. And today's the last day, right? For your original
it is, yes.
application? I'm not speaking for anyone else but myself, but I'm inclined to keep going and hopefully approve the plan that we've seen all along and ask the applicant to submit a new one for the pool.
We could do that.
I would agree with Commissioner Clocky on that.
Sorry.
I think we need a little more information about, the pool fence and those kinds of things. Can he request any additional time to put those plans together?
How about if we, we'll review, I'll resubmit for a pool application. Just so we can keep going with the process and then, hopefully get an answer on the home and then I'll fill out the paperwork again and visit the pool in 2 weeks.
Sounds good.
That'd be great.
That's your best bet.
So looking at Alexis's draft memorandum dated May 23rd. Well, since we don't have these documents online, Alexis, like this document you're showing us with the pool, or that you were showing us with the pool, how would you suggest we edit? Can I just scratch that second to last paragraph in the first part of the draft memorandum referencing the pool? Is there any other mention of the pool in your memo?
No, in the draft resolution, it's just that description, so you could remove
Okay.
the word "and pool."
Yeah, so I would say, oh, I'm sorry. Do any commissioners have any questions about what we're looking at on the screen, which we're calling the currently proposed plan? I can't see everybody because of how my.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yep, no.
I definitely can't see you. I have to toggle to see Ed and Cheryl too. Okay, well, hearing none, I'm going to move that we approve the draft resolution for S23-637 while scratching any reference to a pool. Could I have a second?
I'll
I'll
second that.
second that.
No, I think Cheryl got you there, Catherine. Cheryl seconded. Any discussion?
No.
Alexis, you're all good. You don't need any more specific direction from us. Okay. All in favor?
I approve. Yes. You can't see me. Yes.
And let's see, where's Ed? I didn't see you. What was that? All right, cool. All right, that's unanimous. All right.
Perfect, thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Mark. Sorry to throw that curveball at you.
No, it's all right. So so you want me to show you on a plan, like where the fence is gonna be and if there's any decking or anything like that?
All hard surfaces.
Perfect, will do. Okay,
Anything that's going to have any potential change to water movement,
no problem.
infiltration, whatever on the site.
Will do.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
But don't anybody go away because next up is S23-639 10 Range Road.
All right, so this is the adjacent property to the immediate north of the property that you were just looking at. And again. So the adjacent property is here. This is a relatively new house that was built under a 2016 wetland permit that was issued in 2016. This is the proposed pool. The existing boulder demarcation line ends approximately here. And what's now proposed is that boulder demarcation line kind of veer upland and would be concurrent with 35 feet from the wetland, which would then line up with the now approved buffer on the adjacent property. There is a proposed, so the elevation from Range Road, which is just off at the bottom of the screen, Range Road, down to the wetland is has a pretty good slope. And so what is being proposed is a patio and then a pool, and then the applicant provided a cross section kind of showing the existing grade. And for the pool, there would be excavation and some grading for the patio. And then the pool itself would basically act as a retaining wall at the bottom of the slope adjacent to the wetland. So this is going back a cross section, kind of across like this.
So again, it's just the patio in front of the pool, front being from the street.
Correct?
No patio around the sides or the back.
No,
And we're knocking down one half of what was a wall on either side of a stairway
correct.
with a walkway leading to that. And then we've got, obviously because of the drop off to the top, to the downhill side, there's no fence there. I saw cable rail and.
We're gonna do the whole perimeter, like around the whole pool, and the deck area is all gonna be glass.
Okay.
Patio area, I should say patio.
And
for
that
everyone.
terminates, I'm sorry, so that terminates at the front of the patio, not the front of the pool?
That goes in front of the patio, correct?
Wowzers. Okay, so the
So
blue.
basically, it's all
rectangle-
enclosed in glass.
Yeah. Who's gonna get the Windex out and clean that? Jeez, crazy.
No, they have this special glass now, it's already protected, it doesn't get spotted.
Really?
Yeah,
I get
Pretty
that from my
cool.
house. Okay. So is there anything in place right now? I see a CB, the blue line. What is that? I'm sorry, not blue, brown. Down and left from your cursor toward the front of the house by the corner of the driveway.
Oh, that's existing yard grade
yard drainage.
catch basin.
Okay,
Comes
and then
down and then goes to the underground retention system.
and
That's it, all
infiltration
existing.
feature. Yep. Okay, and then from between the street and the proposed patio is just grass now, and it's going to stay that way.
Yes.
All right. So does anybody see any drastic effects on site hydrology this pool would create other than potentially slowing down water from the street, migrating toward the wetland? Commissioner Knight has her hand raised.
Just two questions. One, just to double check with zoning, whether there's variance or changes in the Norwalk rules
That's-
about pools on
been
the
appro-
side. And then the second question is, how is it gonna deal with rain? Because I know as a pool owner, like if you don't cover it or the person forgets, which happens, and there's overflow, where's the overflow catchment so it doesn't run down into the wetlands?
Good question. It's all gonna be the area that's facing the wetlands. It's a waterfall edge. So it's called the infinity edge. So there's a catch basin all along the backside.
Is that in the drawing we saw?
Well, it's in the pool design. So you
Okay.
can't really, it's in the pool design.
I'm wondering
it's
if
a
there's
lot-
any chance we could
This
see
edge.
the full pool design at some point.
Yeah, we can't get a full pool design until I hire a pool guy.
Ah.
So, I mean, we're gonna be within this, it's only gonna be 16 feet wide. And then this side where she has the cursor is the catch basin area. It won't be any wider than 16 feet total.
So if you have glass though, if the wall is glass coming up from the pool, then
You don't
how
have
is
to have it on
water?
you don't have to have the glass because it's gonna be, 6 feet high on where the pool equipment is. So you can't climb up that wall. And then you have the infinity edge where you can't even stand on, so there's no glass on the area that's facing the wetlands.
Oh, so the glass enclosure is only three-sided. It's
Yes,
open on the
three-sided.
downhill
Yes,
side.
correct.
I just want to make sure that when you do the infinity edge with the catchment, that the pool does not extend more than 16 feet.
Nope, that's
Um,
what we have. that's the maximum we're gonna go. So really, the whole interior of the pool is probably gonna be 14 feet with a 2-foot catch basin, or like a 1.5 catch basin. So the overall width will only still be 16 feet.
Okay.
I'm wondering if there's any examples online of, like what a cross section of this looks like, just so we could get a better idea. Because it seems to me like it's going to be a little more complex than what we're looking at here.
No, I mean, with the pool guy today. So how do you, if you leave that one wall to the right, and then you add it's a 90, if you come down to like a 2-foot box from the very top, inside the pool, that'd be your catch basin.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think I'm feeling that, I know are we just receiving this today?
No, in
Discussing
fact,
You talked about it at the last meeting.
Talked about last week. Okay, well, wow. So I'm probably dragging you guys straight through the mud on this. But I guess the other thing is like there's going to be an awful lot of digging. There's nothing on the plan for like a pile of dirt. We have a single silt fence around the downhill side, which seems a little chintzy. I don't know. This just seems a little underbaked to me. Did anybody else have similar feelings last week, or am I just being a curmudgeon?
Wait,
I
did we see the section last week?
did we see that section? No, I had to make it for you.
That was-
You asked
that
me
was
for
added.
a cross section.
That was requested.
Okay.
And
I
just
do
wanna-
have a question about that cross section because that looks like that is the existing grade a 2-to-1 slope right now?
Yes, that's all existing grade. So it starts off at the 38 feet and goes up to the, what is it, the 46.
Okay.
And we're not changing the grade. Everything stays exactly the same.
Okay.
So they're actually, so this was approved by zoning. They're actually prohibited per zoning for doing, for changing the grade within the this setback. So that's why they can't grade out, and why they would have to have this these 2 walls of the pool exposed basically on the outside. So
It's gonna be beautiful.
Well, that's not what we're worried about.
And it's gonna be functional. I mean, I mean, the catch basins, instead of doing a normal pool, you do that waterfall edge, and that catches everything.
Where's the 100-foot line from the water course?
Right?
It's not on this property. So the water course is off the page. And it kind of veers off this way, this way. Let's see. It ends at about here. I'm looking at the other one. So the line, comes up like this, and then about here is the 100-foot.
Because this is, I know it says wetlands, but it's all boulders. It's not wet. The stream is, I don't know, 100 feet away from the area.
Still a wetland.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying the stream. I know it's wetlands.
Yeah, no, I'm joking. Yeah, so it is completely outside of the upland review area, and then this is the 50-foot upland review area. The wetland line itself is here, and so that this ends up being on the application form. Well, I mean, about 30 feet. Here's 50, and then halfway is 25.
Okay.
I mean, just to answer your question, Steve, because the house to the right is 6 Range Road, and that's gonna go under construction, and we have all the silt fencing there. So it really makes sense for us to do this at the same time that we're building the other house, and then we could obviously take all that dirt and put it on the other lot. Since we own all that stuff. And that other lot is very, well protected with, double silt fence.
Okay. Yeah,
I mean,
I hear
that's
that.
really the only way we can access that, honestly, would be through the other lot.
Okay.
I mean, I guess where I'm at is I understand, obviously the house and everything within the 50-foot setback, but in terms of adding in a pool to a sloped area, just need to kind of think through what the impact is, because the reason why it's a setback area is because it does have some functional relationship to the wetland and mitigating impact on the wetland. It would be helpful to understand a little bit more, I guess.
I really don't know what else we could show you.
You've
Cheryl,
got a lot of water being diverted because it's going into the kind of underground flow.
well, we've got, I mean, what's happening is, okay, what
I
is
mean,
currently,
right now you don't have, you just have lawn area in this area. So you're not, that's why you have this hatch mark buffer, is to buffer the wetland from the impacts of kind of your normal residential day-to-day activities. So, I don't see a significant loss of resources going from an established lawn area to a pool area, I guess. I think, sometimes you see proposed pools where in order to put the pool in, the applicant is proposing removal of trees or an expansion of lawn, removal of vegetation or very significant grading in order to kind of get it to work out. I don't know, when you're with these more recently approved lots where you've already kind of established a delineated buffer that's been demarcated and enhanced out in the field, and then you have kind of sod everywhere else. I don't know if there's a big difference between a pool and a lawn, certainly for kind of the long-term stormwater drainage that you're asking about. A lawn is not the best, and so a patio and pool would actually kind of keep any rainwater that goes into the pool and potentially any runoff that comes down across the patio in that system, as opposed to your lawn being washed down into the wetland. So then for short term, certainly there's going to be some additional excavation and grading within this area, and that's why they have proposed silt fence. And you can certainly require that it be you can do a variety of things. You can require the demarcation boulder road to be installed first in the sequence. You can require a double row of silt fence. And
I like that.
The applicant is proposing 4, 9 to 11, 12 shrubs to enhance the buffer between the demarcation wall and the wetland.
And that landscaping kind of matches up with the other landscaping from the other lot.
Right. Okay. Well, since any other commissioners have any questions or anything they want to contribute? I don't hear or see anything. So,
Yep.
I do like the idea of just the double silt fence and also getting the work done down below, you know, toward the wetland before starting the work up above. If there's any way to get that in the draft memorandum, the resolution. You can fit it in
Ye-
there somehow, can't you, Alexis?
Yeah, so for the, condition number 3. Well, we'll start with the silt fence. So for condition number 2,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just saying prior to commencement of any on-site activity silt fence, you can say a double row of silt fence.
There you go.
Yeah, I could do, you know, a row next to the boulder demarcation and then another row closer to the pool area.
They're up.
Beautiful. Okay, so
And then
that's
special
condition 2.
condition number 3. Let's see.
Maybe we could just tack on the end before work on the pool commences or something like that.
Yeah, so the wetland buffer shall be extended and enhanced with native plants as depicted on the site plan, which is referenced. Period. Buffer demarcation boulders and buffer shall be installed prior to installation of the pool.
Good. Okay, so I will move to approve the draft resolution for S24-639 drafted dated May 24th, 2024 with the edits that Alexis just verbalized for us. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Cheryl's got a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that's unanimous.
Thank you.
Yeah. Again, sorry for making it maybe more difficult. than it
I
needs to
wouldn't
be.
be asking these questions, but everybody wants a pool now. It's crazy.
It is crazy. So be it. All right. Well, I think that's all we have for you then tonight, Mark, I believe. Yes. All right. So thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. Moving on to discussion for S23-628, 779, 789 Connecticut Avenue, Costco. That's a pretty good looking report they sent.
Yeah,
Yep.
so this was a permit that you approved in October 2023, and one of the special conditions of that permit was that the applicant investigate the feasibility of removal of the retaining wall that's along the riverbank of the 5 Mile River, and they have returned. So with that, let me know if you would like me to share my screen. I think you're all.
Thank you, Alexis. For the record, John Nuff, 135 Broad Street, on behalf of Costco Wholesale. With me is Michelle Carlson, professional engineer from BL Companies, and Kim Basiat from BL is going to be sharing her screen. As Alexis just indicated, when you approved our application back in October, we agreed to come back to you within 6 months with the floodway study to determine whether there's any potential benefit in removing the retaining wall along the 5 Mile River. I think you all have received copies, or at least electronic copy, of a very thorough report. Just by way of background, the 5 Mile River actually is 10 miles long. It's about 640 feet on our property, and of that 640 feet, 240 feet is that retaining wall. we're about 4/1000th, if I'm doing my math correctly, of the entire length of the river. And I think, to summarize, and Michelle will walk you through this with more specifics, but not only will there not be any flood prevention or storage benefit or any other environmental benefit, but will actually have a negative impact in terms of removal of mature vegetation along the river, removal of a lot of the buffer planting that we have proposed, and obviously a lot of disruption to the river itself. So I'll be quiet and I'll let the professional engineers who know what they're actually talking about take it away, and then we're happy to answer.
Good evening. My name is Michelle Carlson. I'm a licensed professional engineer in the state of Connecticut, work at BL Companies headquartered in Meriden, Connecticut. We had a group of professionals look at this from different aspects. We had geotechnical engineering done. We did some borings to check what the soils were. We had structural engineer evaluate the existing wall that's in place. We had our soil scientists weigh in on what they thought the impacts might be if the wall was removed. And we also had our stormwater drainage expert run the HEC-RAS model and prepared the report that you all hopefully had a chance to read. The first thing that I'd like to go through is I can show you, am I going to share my screen? I'll share my screen, Kim. Let's see. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. This panel on the left is what was approved by the commission when we were before you last. And John, I don't know the exact date, I'm sorry. But this is what was approved. This black line here is the retaining wall. Okay, right here. Obviously, this is the 5 Mile River in blue. There's some vegetation here on the riverside of the wall. And then we were proposing to plant this area as part of the project. If we were to remove the retaining wall, according to the geotechnical engineers' analysis of the soils and our structural engineer looking at the retaining wall, we would have to take out the footing of the retaining wall and the retaining wall, which would mean coming into the river down here and stripping out all of the existing green that is in front of this wall. Okay, and then we would be riprapping from this point here all the way back at 3-to-1 to the top of the slope. So this whole area, there would be no vegetation. All of this gray, hopefully you can see that, would be riprap. There's about 4,500 square feet of vegetation in here. And then there's about 9,000 square feet of vegetation that we're proposing as part of the project that would no longer be there. It would be riprap. So the analysis showed that in the section along the wall, anywhere from 0.04 to 1.31 feet was the difference in water surface elevation. There's really no incremental benefit upstream or downstream or flood storage capacity. As you know, this section is bound by the culvert that is here at Route 1. And then at the bottom, there's the other restriction, another culvert as it goes under I-95. So this really is a small section. And by taking that wall out, you're not really creating any great flood storage benefit. It's all of our combined experts' opinion at BL that you're not. We feel that there's more of a negative benefit because right now you have habitat along the river. We're putting back more green than is there now. And the riprap would just be stark, no vegetation, loss of habitat, impact critters that now have paths along the wall and the river and to get to where they're going. And I can show you these combined photos. You can see this is looking down from Route 1 right along the 5 Mile River. And you can see, albeit not a lot, but there's still good vegetation in here. And there is the ability for critters and habitat to walk around and meander here and utilize the trees. And in order to slope this back at 3-to-1 and riprap it and take the wall out, we have to come back down into here to actually take the footing out of the wall. Otherwise, we won't have a stable slope if that footing is left in per the geotechnical analysis. So we really think there is a benefit to not taking out the wall, and that's the conclusion that we put in our study. And I can go into more specifics if you want, but I don't know if you want any more detail, if you have questions you want to ask us. Our analysis concludes we think we should leave the wall in place, just to be clear.
Commissioners, anybody have any questions? Nope. Yeah, I can't see you, Catherine, but I'm assuming you shook your head like the others.
Yeah, no, I shook my head. It seems to make sense.
It does make a lot of sense, and I will go ahead and speak for the group and say thank you for following through on
Oh,
this.
no problem.
And yeah, I think the findings are pretty obvious. And I also saw in the report there were some suggestions about repairing the wall, which I
Correct.
assume you are taking seriously.
Yes, that is correct.
Great. Yeah, well, if no one else has anything else, and Alexis, there's nothing for us to act on here. It's just these guys following up with what they promised, and they have. So
Mhm.
I'll thank them for that and say good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks
Yeah,
very much.
Thank
Have a
you
good
very
night.
much for
All
doing
right,
that.
good
Appreciate
night.
your
Thank
time.
you.
Okay.
You too.
Thank you for the thorough report.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to enforcement actions. V 24-1062, 464 West Cedar Street.
Okay.
Show
So
cause
this
hearing.
is a show cause hearing. It was actually opened at the last meeting, and then we had a lack of a quorum, so we needed to end prematurely. But you have a quorum tonight, and I guess would it make sense? I know that Steve, you were not here at the last meeting, so maybe it makes sense to just kind of start again. And so I will follow the structure of the show cause hearing. I'll do a very brief explanation of why we've sent the order, and then we'll quickly send it back over to the property owner so that she can provide show cause, and then you can close and move on. Does that make sense? That's a nod of the head. Okay, so the properties in question are these two highlighted properties. So this is 325 West Cedar Street. It is owned by Eversource, which is a subsidiary of CLNP. And then this small property here is, I'm sorry, this is 464 Connecticut, 464 West Cedar Street. This is 325 West Cedar Street. The larger property is owned by CLNP, and the smaller property is owned by Miss. I apologize. I always get your name wrong. Savalieva. Oops, go through. So this is just a zoom in of, again, 325 and the adjacent CLNP property, which is known as 464 West Cedar Street. There's West Cedar Street here. The driveway comes across. This yellow box is the tower upon which CLNP's transmission lines run, and so the lines run parallel to these two short ends of the tower that represent the rectangle. Here, this green area is field delineated wetlands that were delineated by Otto Thiel in 2018. And this is the extent of the wall when this topographic map data was collected, and that was in 2018. This is the same information zoomed in a little bit more with a March 2023 aerial photo. So this line here is the same wall marking that is this line. So all of the the topo lines, the wetland line and the wall line are the same. It's just a aerial photo underneath. And this is the end of the wall today, is here. These are photographs taken in April, I believe it was April 10th, 2024, that shows a couple of trucks dumping material. This is that end of the wall that I had pointed out earlier. The wetland gets closest to the wall that's been constructed kind of in this location. Again, these are the trucks, and there's a person for scale, and one of the piles. And then this is the second photo is just from a different angle. There's a flag here, and that's this flag here. So there's a pile next to the end of the wall, and then some additional material here. You can see the change in grade from the area. And so let me just back up. This house here is the residence at 325. These are both looking south down the driveway and along the power line. So the tower that you see in the background is this tower. There's the tower. And then so based on that recent activity of filling, we issued an order. In the order, it states filling adjacent to a wetland and watercourse within the upland review area. And then the order also notes that there have been previous enforcement orders issued in 2018 and 2021, both for deposition of fill and construction of the retaining wall. The order has the respondents. So, and let me also backtrack to say that the order has 2 respondents. So the owner of 325 West Cedar Street was cited in the order because it was fairly clear that the dump trucks entered along the driveway of 325 and that they were the ones conducting the work. The other respondents are CLMP, and these are both representatives of CLMP or Eversource Energy. They were cited because the Eversource owns the property at 464 West Cedar Street, and so Eversource is, in that regard, maintaining the violation. The order directs all respondents to stop all work and install sedimentation erosion controls, and then to apply for a corrective action permit application on or before Tuesday, the 18th of June, and then complete work that is in that application. The application has to detail how the unpermitted fill and walls would be removed within the wetland, and get a permit for the work that was done within the upland review area. So that is the order. I will note that only one of the respondents has appeared again this evening, so I don't see any representation from CLMP. Any questions for me before we turn to the respondent? All right. So Miss, is it Savalyeva?
Yes.
Okay. And so if you want to maybe just repeat, I know that you had started at the last meeting and then we had to abruptly quit, but for the benefit of Chairman Clockey, you may just want to restate what you had talked about before. The only thing that I would add is that the conservation office, I know that the city of Norwalk as a whole is one big entity. This is only for the conservation office. So I know that you've had some dealings with the Public Works Department, and I think you mentioned somebody in the building department, and that does not have anything to do with the matter before the commission tonight. It's just they're having a show cause hearing to determine whether you have a wetland violation or not, and if the directives in the order are in line with that violation or not. So
Yes, so as I stated during the last meeting, on April 10th, there was a call from Paul Zais, who actively complains on us for everything we do, even with the permits. And then Public Works showed up, and they started to, Paul Stotnick started to yell at my husband, stating that we are violating, we need the permit for bringing the topsoil. Less than 40 yards, the permit is needed for 50 yards of topsoil. Less than 40 yards of topsoil was delivered, and it was not distributed over the wetlands. Why would we do so? We are protecting the wetlands, right? So there was, I see no grounds for the violation. So Eversource wants to install the fence around their property. Plus, they are doing this tower lines upgrade project, and in 2025 they're going to replace the old towers and put multiple new towers right across from my window. So Eversource asked us to remove any of our belongings from their land, and we were just like clearing our land and planting the grass, and one of the piles was already there. I'm not sure if you noticed that or not. And then one pile was dumped, but it was around one. I believe that's my husband told me, and he's not present here right now. It was 20 yards. One truck was carrying 20 yards. So I see no grounds for the violation. And as I previously told, we are protecting the wetlands. We are actually working in a close communication with Norwalk Land Trust right now, since in October 2023, Eversource cut down a huge wooden area right across our house, and Norwalk Land Trust owns part, the second part of the woods, and Eversource, like Norwalk Land Trust, was really upset that Eversource never told them anything, so they contacted us, and we're like in very good relations with them, and working towards not letting Eversource to destroy the wetlands. And in October 2023, Eversource contractors hired the trucks, huge equipment that were like I have multiple videos, I have multiple photos. Eversource, the trucks, heavy duty equipment was right on the wetlands. They were putting the wooden like pallets over the wetlands to cut down all of these trees. So we have no reason to do anything with the wetlands. And I know we did violate as you said, in 2018 and 2021, we did a couple of violations, but we corrected them, and we applied for the permit. So I like this time, I believe, and the reason I mentioned, and I was like, I was talking about the other department, the Public Works Department, and my complaint to Vanessa Valadares, which they actually ignore it, but I'll follow up with them. So because it's in close connection, so I believe. So but back to your point, and no extra stuff to say. Yes, tremendous damage was done by Eversource when they cut down the trees in October, just they were like riding the equipment was riding straight on the wetlands. We didn't do anything, so I believe there is no ground for the violation. We're a friendly family. We're trying to protect the nature, you know. My husband was even trying to not let them like cut down the trees, and they called the police on him. Like so this is what's happening. So you believe it or not, but there is nothing on the wetlands that we put. We were just, Eversource told us to remove the kids' playground, we removed it. Eversource told us to clear, to remove some stuff, like some, a trailer from, underneath the, tower, we removed it, so just in order to avoid the fence, which I don't want to have the fence there.
Okay.
Because what they did already destroyed like the value of our property sharply. And actually I received a notice today from the appeal department from the town of Norwalk, and they because I appealed the real estate tax assessment, and they approved the appeal, so they decreased the house value because of the multiple reasons concerning dealing with Eversource.
Okay. All right. Well,
So-
thank you for that. Do any commissioners have any questions? Okay. So here's the deal. We try to keep things as simple as possible. A company like Eversource, unfortunately, I think plays by different rules or is held to different standards than a regular property owner like you and me.
Right.
And I think it's easy to feel that it's unfair. And but the thing is, the statutes are written. There's not much that we can do to the much we can do here other than react to the actions that have been taken, which are pretty hard to argue against because there are photos of trucks dumping soil and things like that.
Not
So-
on wetlands. There
Well,
were like
it's-
there were
but
two. Yeah.
Hold on a second. So there's the wetlands and there's upland review area, and all this stuff is very well documented. And so I mean, unless any other commissioners feel strongly, I think the best way to approach this is to just approve the cease and restore enforcement order. Hopefully we can get that resolved as quickly and simply as possible for you, because it sounds like you're being asked to do other things in conjunction with that property next door.
Oh, we're done with
And,
it. We're done. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I guess that would be my motion, would be to adopt it or approve it, Alexis.
So it's an order that you're either upholding, modifying and upholding, or withdrawing.
Okay, I would uphold it. I don't know, do any commissioners have any suggested edits or alterations? Okay. So-
I would
But-
recommend that since the, so just a, hold on, I'm trying to find the order. Since it was originally issued on May 1st with a show cause hearing.
Oh, right, we have to edit
At
the
your
dates.
May 14th hearing, I would recommend bumping back the application deadline at least 2 weeks.
2 weeks to
And
July.
I'm looking that up. Hold on a second. So it currently is June 18th.
July 2nd would be 2 weeks. July 9th would be our first meeting of July.
Yeah, so maybe more like Tuesday, the 9th of July.
Okay. All right, so I will amend my motion to uphold with the slight edit to the deadline to submit a corrective action permit application should be on or before Tuesday, July 9th.
I'm just not sure what we should correct. If you can tell me in details what we should correct.
Probably I would,
Well,
go
Yeah,
ahead.
I mean, so the You had talked about that you don't need a permit for more, less than 50 cubic yards. So there's multiple
Mhm.
permits required through the city of Norwalk. The Public Works Department requires a fill and excavation permit whenever you move more than 50 cubic yards of material. And so does zoning requires a permit now as well. For inland wetlands, any activity within a wetland or within 50 feet of a wetland, any activity requires a permit. And so that would include the deposition of any material. And so the trucks that were photographed on in April, that's a sufficient quantity to be considered filling within that upland review area within 50 feet of wetlands. And then additionally, what the order talks about is the lack of remediation from the 2018 and 2021 orders. And I know that you did make applications for both of those, and both of those were denied because they were incomplete. And so the staff did not follow up. Typically what happens when a corrective action application is denied because it's incomplete, we follow up with a second order, or we filed for a temporary injunction. We didn't do that for either of those, but even though you may have rectified some portions of the work with the property owner, with CLNP, no wetland remediation work was completed as a result of those two orders.
Okay, there was no excavation. Why do we need the permit for excavation?
You need a
It was
wetland
just
permit for
distributing the
deposition of
topsoil
fill.
over the land.
You need a wetland permit for deposition of fill.
Okay, wetland permit. So, what's the major thing with like one of the permits is the wetland permit for deposition of fill, right?
That is the only permit that we are talking about.
Oh, okay. Okay, and then Eversource should get this permit, or can we get this permit with Eversource's permission?
Either one. So we will continue after both parties. So either Eversource can get the permit and do the work, and then in turn sue you, or you can do the work, you can get the permit and do the work with Eversource's permission. Whatever is the easiest path forward for all parties involved.
Okay, so what about, so this concerns the removal of the topsoil from the land as well, right? Because we're not gonna do anything after this. We just wanna there is a pile, we're just gonna remove it and that's it. So this is the same, is this the same permit as you just mentioned?
Yes, so the order states that the application has to include a site plan that accurately illustrates the existing and pre-existing conditions and restore the impacted wetland and upland review areas. So the plan has to removal of all unpermitted fill from the wetland and upland review area.
There is nothing in the wetlands. It's right next to it, right?
It's
So
upland
and that
review area.
includes from
This, yeah.
2018 forward, removing the fill that was deposited within the wetland and within the upland review area.
Okay. 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 Well, we'll talk to Eversource regarding that. And one more thing. So the permit has to be applied for before July 9th, or everything has to be corrected before July
An
9th?
application needs to be complete application needs to be submitted by July 9th.
Complete application, but no work, right?
Correct. No work.
As a general
just the
rule,
application.
yeah,
So
sometimes
no-
people
no
can do
site
more
work.
damage by, sorry, Alexis.
Go ahead.
Sometimes you can do more damage by trying to make the correction, and that's why we want all the paperwork to be in line, all the plans with, preferably drawn by a professional. You'll have a much easier time getting our approval if the drawings are actually professional drawings. That lays out very clearly what is there now, maybe what was there before, 2018 or whenever the first violation was, and what the plans are to rectify the impacts that have been made to the upland review area.
Okay. Okay, and then, so we submit the application and then the permit is gonna be issued or not, right? Is that how it works?
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So before that, in that last notice that you said, it says that, there are fees, the fines for, like in the application, like lack of permit, I'm sorry, 250 per day, cease and desist, 500 per day. Are they,
I think that must
ongoing right now?
be zoning. That's not me. That's it. This is just inland wetlands. Sounds like you have a letter from somebody else, maybe Public Works?
It says, City of Norwalk, Vanessa Valadares, Chief of Operations and Public Works. Yes.
Public Works. So that is not me and not this commission. So for them, you need to talk to them and convince them that you do not need a fill permit. And so it's called the fill and
Oh, I see.
excavation permit. And it's not just 50 cubic yards that triggers that. There's a lot of language that details when a fill and excavation permit is required. But that's not
I
a
see.
concern of this group.
Okay, sounds good.
Alright.
And then Steve, I think you were about to make a motion to approve, but I don't think that you actually got to.
Okay, well then I would like to move to uphold the cease and restore enforcement order V24-1062 with alteration made to page 2, directive number 2, change the corrective action permit application to be submitted on or before Tuesday, July 9th instead of Tuesday, June 18th. The show cause hearing was held tonight, Tuesday, May 28th, 2024. And I think that's it. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Cheryl's 3 for 3 tonight. Any discussion?
No discussion.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Favor.
So that carries unanimously. And so I think the one recommendation I would give you, Ms. Sarajevo, is to well, I mean, follow through, I guess. Ask questions, try to look for the most straightforward, simplest way to get this resolved. Because none of these entities are going away. I would recommend just keeping things as simple and direct as possible, just to get everything squared away, so everyone can move forward. Would be my only recommendation. Not that you asked for it, but
Okay, thanks.
you bet. Thank you. Good night. Moving on to Alexis, yes?
Could the commission entertain amending your agenda to add a assessment of permit need? This involves a minor permit application that I received, that I want to make sure that the commission is okay with it being a minor, or if it's something that you would like to see.
So this is why Mark's hanging around.
Yeah.
Sure. So do you need one of us to do that, or?
Yes, I would like a motion to amend to add that, please.
Okay, I move to amend the agenda as mentioned. Second?
Second.
Catherine snuck in there. Good job. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, unanimous. Hit it.
All right. This guy has, so this is at 75 Witch Lane. And so to get your bearings, here's Witch Lane. This is, the property to the west is 6 Range Road, and up here is 10 Range Road. This is the pond and then the wetland system. This is again a 2016 permit to construct a house was applied for and approved by a previous owner. house here, demarcation boulders here, wetland line in the blue line, the hatched areas, the delineated wetland buffer. The area to the east of the demarcation boulders is all either residence, driveway, or lawn. I'm just going to go over to this one. This is what the approved plan was. So you can get a sense of the topography, more gently sloping than over on Range Road. Boulders gets cut off here, but then driveway and lawn area here. And so what's being proposed at the end of the driveway is a patio and a pool. I think you can guess at the design of the patio and pool. So this was, oh, and then additionally, some silt fence that's right along the existing demarcation line. My question for you is, considering all that I've just laid out before you, would you be comfortable with this being a minor regulated activity or not? So what I didn't scan was that the flagstone patio would be about a 6 foot by 30 foot long patio. The total excavation requires about 60 cubic yards of fill to be removed. A 30 would be removed from the site. The other 30 would be used for grading adjacent to the patio. And that's what I got.
What is the definition again of significant, et cetera?
So pull that up.
Wait, is
So
that
you
what you're
have-
asking?
No, so you have 3 permit types.
Right.
You got your small, medium, and large.
Right.
Minor, intermediate, and significant. So a minor permit is a staff approved permit.
Right.
Intermediate permit goes before you, and then significant goes before you, but requires some additional things. And my question is, would you want to see this proposed pool before you as an intermediate permit application, or are you comfortable with a staff approved permit is the question.
Ms. Knight.
Here I see a note that says the existing brook. So where specifically,
Yes.
if somebody could show the water course and the 100-foot line, please.
Okay. So, whoop. So on this plan, the 50-foot upland review area is this line. And then I don't think the 100-foot upland review area is shown, but it would be 100 feet from here. So this is 50, so 100 feet is about here. So the entire property is within the upland review area. So it's something like this. This is your 100-foot upland review. But again, I think for any added whatever, I think you have to, well, yeah, that's your decision.
Commissioners, I'm feeling like this is an intermediate. I hear nothing, I see nothing.
Yeah, does any additional stormwater need to be added? For the
No, it would be the
terrace?
same style pool as the other one on 10 Range Road, similar but a little similar style, and there would be no regrading of anything. It'd be just the existing grade again. And the only reason I'm doing this is because we had an offer, and it's all contingent on a pool approval. And
Everyone wants a
know,
pool.
pardon me?
Everyone wants a pool.
Everybody wants a pool.
Yep.
So that's kind of, I hate to throw it out there, but this is where we are.
So I think we're just looking at whether it's a major or minor issue right now, but I don't, I
Minor
think
medium.
just looking at that, like it would, because there's the water course, the flood, I don't see like the elevation, so it's hard to go further.
Oh, Alexis, do you have that one?
There is no FEMA flood zone for this area. And then, for elevation,
I gave you a cross section. Do you have that one?
I don't,
Y'all got a pond. I mean, why don't y'all just share the
oh,
pond?
here's the, gosh, if you saw my desk, you'd know. No, I didn't scan the, it doesn't work. Let me, I can scan it real quickly, but kind of a similar thing in the elevation of the
It's not as
elevation.
drastic as the other house. It's less.
right, the driveway, which is at about elevation 42, here's 46.
Right.
So down here, it's at about elevation 42. And so then there would be a patio that would extend at the same elevation as the existing garage. And then it would drop down into a pool with this edge of the pool being at that 42-foot elevation. So again, this would be basically a retaining wall exposed on the backside and be about a 6-foot high wall. Then you'd slope down with the existing lawn area, and then you get to your demarcation line. No grading on this side because there's a restriction for zoning for changing the grade within the setback. And then this would be at the same elevation or slightly lower than the patio that's proposed.
Well, I think I'd like to see more silt fencing, because if the pool equipment is on the other side
Yes,
of
I
the
mean, yeah,
house,
we can put we'll do a
There's
double
gonna
row of
be
silt fencing.
Mark,
everywhere.
let her finish, please.
Oh, sorry.
there's gonna be excavation, all the way from the pool to the pool equipment.
Right.
So we need to consider that. Is the fence condition the same where the fence is on top of the pool
This-
again?
This would be on two sides. It'd be the one on the north side and then on the driveway side. Because
So there
then we
would
would,
be fence
Yeah.
here,
correct,
here,
right.
but not fence here and here.
You would have a little, no, because you wouldn't have any access, that it would be too high on the, if you could see the cross section, I think it's like 6 feet or 5 feet in
Right.
that corner.
Okay.
I mean, we have considerably less, room to work here, than the other one, number 10, as I recall. This seems to be right up against the demarcation.
Right, but
It's-
also right at the driveway. I mean, when we review these things, we look at stuff like the access and the amount of kind of
Yeah,
the area of disturbance.
yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, so typically when something comes before us, we make the calculation regarding the scope of activity, how expansive and disruptive is the scope of activity. But then we also look at the proximity of that scope. So scope wise, it's relatively minor, in part because it can be accessed right off the driveway. But then proximity wise, you're protecting the wetland. You're not protecting the demarcation boulders or buffer directly, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, I mean, there's also the practicality. I mean, I've seen the area just in not a named storm, and because it all funnels through a pretty small pipe going under the road,
Mhm.
it floods. I mean, it backs up there. So I just don't visually know where it goes. So that's just something.
Well, we got an 8-foot tall wall for it to flow up against, I guess.
Yeah, when we had those heavy rains, there's that pond in front that fills up. But you don't really get any more overflow than that, because then it ends up going over the street. And if it goes any higher than that, it goes over the whole street.
Yeah, it goes over the whole street. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So I could never see it backing up, back up that far.
All right, well, I don't have strong feelings about this one. Does anybody else?
So we're just doing the major minor issue here, or what?
Yeah, so we're basically
So minor, medium. really
minor,
is.
medium.
Yep.
Are we okay with Alexis reviewing this and saying basically what we would say, like get some serious erosion control in there in front of the boulders, yada yada? Or do we need to see it ourselves?
I'm good with Alexis overseeing it.
Okay. Ed?
I'd just like to see, just because it's really close to the setback line or the demarcation, just a little bit more kind of detail, because I don't know how much, this is this to scale or?
It is the scale, even as far as like well, here's 20 feet. So from the wetland is, just about 20 feet. And then the demarcation boulder is, a little bit further. And then
I believe that boulder demarcation was like at 25 feet.
Because there's also like just the overflow. I can't quite judge what this, you can't see me, sorry, I'm pointing, Liz, if you can see me.
Yeah.
The space between the pool and the demarcation in terms of like the overflow for the infinity. So that would be.
It would all be within that, it would all be inside that square. It wouldn't be any farther, it wouldn't be any wider than 18 feet. So the pool again would be probably 16 feet. And then the infinity edge would be the 2 feet, so that gives you the 18 feet.
Okay, thanks.
so here's one mark. This is 28.9 feet to this under drain here. So you're looking at a just over 25 feet
Correct.
from the pool to the wetland line.
Okay. Catherine, what are you thinking then? Minor or medium?
Minor, yeah.
Minor. Okay. So I think we're in consensus, Alexis. Do we need to
Oh, you can
move
make a
that?
motion, sure.
So I will move to make that a minor application that does not need to come in front of us. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Cheryl, discussion? All in favor?
Hi.
Sweet, unanimous.
All right. Okay.
Thank you so much. Everybody have a good evening. Thank you.
You bet. You too.
And I'll come see you tomorrow, Alexis.
Wednesday. Yes.
Okay. I'll shoot you an email. Thank you so much. You have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Two.
Two.
Okay. Moving on. Bond release.
Bond release.
That's 21-577, 63 Cranberry Road.
They had to do a few plantings adjacent to Stony Brook. It's been 2 full growing seasons. Actually, as of last fall, the inspectors went out again this spring, and all the plants look Good. So
Move to
staff
release.
recommends Release, yep.
Have a second.
Second.
Cheryl, discussion?
No,
All in favor?
I,
Unanimous. Give them their money back. Approval of minutes, April 23rd and May 14th. Anybody?
They look good to me.
You want to make a motion?
I will make a motion to approve both April 23rd and May 14th minutes.
I'll second that.
Actually, discussion if you don't mind. I wasn't at the 23rd. So should we vote for these separately, Alexis, or does it matter? Oh wait, April 23rd. I'm sorry, I'm tired. Never mind. Okay, discussion's over. All in favor? Aye.
I,
Thank you. Sorry.
That's fine. We're good.
Conservation initiatives. What are our current initiatives?
Well, I'll just do, Miss Breslin isn't here today, but there was a Earth Day celebration on the Norwalk Green in East Norwalk, and she did make a very nice poster for wetlands and watercourses, what they are and why we protect them. And she and I went out and hung out and talked to some people. We saw Ed there, and a lot of other people.
Awesome.
That
Well
was
done.
successful, I'd say.
Thank you. And thank you, Heather, even though you're not here.
Yeah, it looked great. That's all that I can think of at this hour.
Okay. Oh, I have one. Oh, I'll wait till my turn. Commissioner comments. Comments of staff. Anything else you want to add on top, Alexis?
No.
Moving on to comments of commissioners. I've got a potential new commissioner. Who would be a good addition, I think. Remind me again, Alexis, do I need to write a letter of nomination?
So you can send and what I would recommend is emailing myself, Mayor Rilling. I can send you an email with all this, and Irene Dixon. And copy the person that's well, you can just send it to us and say that you've spoken to this person and you recommend them and that you've encouraged them to reach out and express their interest in serving. And then whoever that person is, they should then send an email to Irene and the mayor, formally saying, yes, I'd like to be considered for the Conservation Commission, and they should send some kind of CV or resume.
Okay.
And then that's it.
Okay.
And, yeah, just keep me in the loop because usually they call and say, we have this person.
Okay.
That's it.
If you could start that ball rolling by emailing me and carbon copying the aforementioned people.
Yep.
Or at least just mentioning them and then I'll respond. Well, I don't know that I have those people's email addresses, so
Yeah, I'll send you their emails.
thanks.
Mhm.
I see nothing else on the agenda and I'm out of steam, so I'm going to move to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Cheryl again, jeez.
I'm sorry. I'm just,
And we'll get Catherine's camera fixed before next time so we can actually see her.
Yeah, I'm a little confused because the green light's been on the whole time, but like I have no idea where it's broadcasting.
Where is it going to?
Cupertino, maybe. I don't know.
That was an approved motion though, right?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor? Aye.
I.
I
Cheryl seconded. No discussion.
Yep.